Get ready to buckle up for the thrill of a lifetime. A Code 3 run on a fire engine. These are some of the hardest working people on the streets of Los Angeles. For them, it's not just a job, it's a real adventure.
A training tower and a hook and ladder, two of the tools of the trade of a firefighter. I'm Gene Gleason, and you're about to get a real insight into a very dangerous and demanding job. When you work in a fire station, it's a 24-hour shift. Anything and everything can happen.
Rescue 89, respond to the traffic accident.
There we go. What is this we're going on?
Yeah, that's northbound. I guess they still got people trapped.
Oh boy.
I'll show you. I'll tell you where to go.
This emergency response is to a terrible accident on the Golden State Freeway.
Cap! Get 4 people.
A fully loaded car carrier has collided with another vehicle. Inside the pancake wreckage, one person is dead. Incredibly, 3 others are still alive, but they're trapped. Firefighters and paramedics from Station 89 are among the first on the scene. There isn't much time to figure out a plan of action, but time is critical.
One's dead on this side, the other side is fine.
Well,
While firefighters stand at the ready, their captains go over the situation.
I'm worried about that one patient.
it won't hurt her. It'll roll off the other way.
I think if we just get this guy here and we can snatch onto it, we're going to be...
Another suggestion was, the other 2 lifted up, we got a 3rd truck, right?
Yeah.
Or a 3rd tow?
Yeah.
Take a hold of it, just pull it right out from underneath there.
Okay, we thought about that too.
That'll work. Those guys aren't that serious inside.
Okay.
The fire crews are able to pull one person, a woman, out of the twisted metal and broken glass. She'll be airlifted to the hospital. But the 2 other people are still pinned in the back seat.
Stay with her.
2 big rig towing units are called in to lift the car carrier up. Another tow truck will drag the Pontiac Firebird out of harm's way.
I think he's going to go under and pull it back in as it lifts up. That'll pull it back toward
I'm going to go underneath so we can pass it. You got to bring that chain underneath.
As it turned out, authorities say the people in the car intentionally forced the big rig to hit them. They were apparently staging accidents in order to collect insurance money. Because one man in the car died, the 3 survivors were to be charged with murder and also with fraud. For firefighters, though, this was just another accident, another rescue.
It's exciting to be a fireman. We don't get paid for what we do, we get paid for what we're willing to do. We're willing to shorten our lives by anywhere from 10 to 15 years by doing the things we do. We take the chance of maiming ourselves, but we get paid for what we're willing to do and not what we do.
And they have to be ready and willing to drop whatever they're doing at a moment's notice and race out the door, knowing that every time they go out on a call, they're putting their lives on the line.
To be a firefighter today, it takes dedication. It takes a person who knows what he wants to try and accomplish. You have to be the type of person that enjoys helping people and not afraid of hard work, not afraid of a commitment that's actually pretty much a lifelong commitment.
I've always enjoyed being a fireman. I get to fight the fire, I get to do the work, I get to be involved right in the middle of things, and I like that.
A new day begins at Fire Station 89 in North Hollywood. Located right in the landing pattern near Burbank Airport, this is a busy place. At 8 a.m., a new platoon of firemen, paramedics, and captains has come on duty, their equipment ready for action.
Next shift, Dave, you're going to EMT training.
The new shift begins with a morning briefing with Captains Tom Bureau and Carl Grossman presiding.
No, it's on. Special notice came out a couple shifts ago for the National Fire Academy. Anybody wants to go, you have to write a 225, the chief engineer.
So brush season, think about keeping your work pants close by for nighttime. Get caught with your turnouts on at night, you're going to be in trouble.
That's way in the back. The camera is zooming in on it. Now they'll pan back and you'll see where they are in relationship. But that's the far back in here.
After that meeting, members of the C platoon moved to their informal rec room to study news videotape of a recent arson fire that destroyed a mini mall on Ventura Boulevard in Encino.
When you're 4 floors up and you got fire running through an area that you can't get to, and the light comes on and you go for it, that's fine if you think of it, but it's all 2x4s that are burning. So they're burning like crazy, and it's spreading faster than you can even react. I think this is the backside. You can tell by looking at that wall, the integrity of the wall is extremely questionable.
There's somebody standing there. This guy there's at peril.
You can't use the ladder going up. Cut yourself a couple of footholds going up and walk up the plywood.
Problem is, as soon as you cut a hole in that thing, it's going to suck the fire right to where your holes are.
Okay. If you got smoke coming out of those holes, then cut it low, right at the eave line, and make that like you're making access on a first floor.
When you can roll up and have huffing and puffing with no visible fire, no windows broken out, and you've already got floor collapse, that tells you what you're dealing with. So we have to change our mode somewhat to keep from getting somebody hurt.
The best part of my job is just doing it, actually being able out to help the public and serve the community, and being able to be there to, people need help. I mean, that's why they call 911, and we show up, and actually being able to help somebody. Being, like they said, instead of being part of the problem, being part of the solution.
Firemen all chip in for their daily meals, and a time-honored ritual is the daily supermarket run. Every day, the crew on duty takes up a collection and sends a couple of people out to buy food for both lunch and dinner. Sometimes they have a menu, a plan, a list. But on this run with Jerry Updegraft and Sam Brown, well, it's kind of a guessing game.
Cheeseburgers.
Come on, you're having salad. Oh, sorry.
Black sweet cherry.
Let's go.
Shoot. Come on, Sam, you're not helping any.
I did, I already helped you.
Dutch chocolate, mint chocolate chip. We're having cake. Should I get ice cream? Sam, I did pretty good. I could have gotten the Jell-O.
All right.
Yeah.
78 Rescue 39, stand by for that.
Important decisions about lunch and dinner, and of course dessert, have now been made. This intrepid shopping crew returns to their waiting comrades, and everyone outside, not knowing the sheer drama of what has happened inside, heads back to the fire station for lunch. All meals are eaten together. There isn't the time or the space to eat apart.
The year that they're changing the inspection, the way they're going to do it.
It's almost like a sports team. You know, it takes 9 guys to play baseball, and here it just happens to have 10 to be a task force. Each guy has his own job, and if one guy fails in his job, then it just makes it hard for everyone else because somebody has to pick up the slack. If I don't do my job, then somebody else can't put a fire out. So it takes a lot of team effort.
When we come back, a night on the town as Fire Station 89 takes to the streets after dark.
And Rescue 89 doing automobile versus bike at 12401 Victory Boulevard.
20, Engine 3, Battalion 11, a reported structure fire at 1317 West Sunset Boulevard, 1317 West Sunset Boulevard. Time is 12:55.
An uninterrupted dinner is a luxury. Meals here are usually eat and run.
If you cook something that has a lot of timetables and you got to work with, you get ruined every time, because if it's something you got to plan out, sure as can be, you're going to get at least a couple runs while you're cooking it. So then you're, well, you turn it off, turn it on, wondering how it's going to be. And, but like I said, if it comes out edible, guys will, they'll eat it up.
On the menu tonight, a chicken broccoli casserole. The key word is quantity, because firefighters are always hungry.
Well, it's heavy, I tell you that. Does that count for anything? It's heavy? In it goes, and let's see what happens.
Okay, everybody, in case you didn't hear, 5 o'clock, let's eat. It's not getting any better.
You don't have to tell a firefighter more than once that dinner is ready. It's pretty much all you can eat until the food runs out. This is a time to take a break, to talk about the day's work, and prepare for the night ahead. The only question is, who does the dishes?
There you go, sir. You got to make it an easy shot for me. Just right away, weren't you? Hey! You got to make it, Captain.
That question is quickly answered by a friendly little game of skill outside.
There it is.
Okay, here we go. Right in. Oh, my goodness.
I'm number one.
Oh, yeah, look at that. Beautiful. What form, gosh. Was the wind blowing too hard?
That's the stupidest game.
Doing the dishes is known as being in the suds, but it's generally accepted that everyone pitches in to do the work. After all, these people all live here. This is very much a home for them during their 24-hour shift, and they work hard to keep it clean.
I think all the captains on the department would feel the same way. This is as much fun as it is work, and it's something that we all do together. It's like our exercise programs and of course firefighting, we do that together too. It's all part of a teamwork effort.
While the dishes are being done inside, that sense of teamwork is also apparent outside. Another one of the daily rituals here is to keep all the equipment clean and in good working order. After all, when lives depend on the condition of your tools, you treat them with respect.
We're here for 24 hours at a time. You know, if we work overtime, we're here for more. It gets really tiring, especially even if you don't have a whole lot of calls. You just don't sleep the same at the station as you do at home. And then if you do get calls, you're up all night and you're just dead tired some nights. It gets pretty bad sometimes. But yeah, you end up getting used to it.
Structure fire for Jack 489. Oh! IOD! 7 away. 11421. Call back.
Fire Station 89 responded to more than 11,000 calls last year. They range from fires to rescues, from toxic chemical spills to paramedic calls. It's a lot of hard work, and the stress can really take its toll.
Well, the exposure to the smoke and the heat and the waking up quickly, being startled awake, the chemicals you're exposed to, all the many things you're exposed to shortens your life. Our stress isn't like maybe a stockbroker stress, but it can be hard on some people, and some people don't make it. They leave the job stressed. They leave the job because they can't handle it.
It appears to be the classic stolen vehicle, strip and burn kind of a thing. A car like this really wouldn't be in an industrial area. We're going to have the LAPD run it as a possible stolen. The fire apparently originated inside or possibly even on the exterior of the car, but it's not an engine fire. The engine isn't damaged.
A few minutes later, the same crew responds to another fire just a short distance away. It may only be a dumpster fire, but every fire call is an important one. And these guys went right to work putting it out. From there, another call in less than an hour, a report of smoke in a building. Some blown electrical wiring in a water cooler is responsible for this, but responding units walk through the building and inspect the property just in case the fire has spread elsewhere in the structure.
There appears to be no windows up here. We shut the doors, there's no problem with smoke.
All clear, and the building is secured.
And that's the life of a fireman.
Engine 98 to the grass fire at the intersection of Carl and Borden.
Oh, City from Engine 98, we got about an acre of grass, we'll handle it.
Task Force 98, Light Force 75, Battalion 12. Respond to the structure fire at 11322 North Unwell Avenue.
The fire department will look a little bit different in the near future. That's because a new departmental policy will encourage more women to train as firefighters. Now, female paramedics already work here, so it won't really mean that big of a change.
In the old days, a fire station was a man's domain. There were no women allowed. That philosophy has changed with the times, and now both sexes work side by side in every fire station in the city.
I've been on the job 6 years. It's tough for women and men alike. For me, I haven't had any problems. And I think from what I can see from people that I've talked to and things in the past, I think the biggest problem for women on the job is you have to remember that it's basically been a male-oriented type of a career. What it comes down to in my mind is that it's a matter of maturity on both the men and the women. And when you have, you know, mature people and you're dealing with each other as a group and you're trying to make things work, then there isn't a problem. There's nothing else that you really can do and be in the position to help people the way that we do.
He just has ankle pain. She's got lateral neck, back, and
lower back also.
Right clavicle.
Going to the hospital?
Stand up here.
She's fine. She's fine. She's got pain like me. She's okay. Okay? We put ourselves in jeopardy at times, and it's stressful for us. But by and large, I think that there really isn't anything else that I could think that would be so rewarding as this career. It can become overwhelming, but it depends on where you are in your mind when you step into the incident. So you always have to remember, if you find yourself going at 90 miles an hour, to take a deep breath and take a step back before you walk in to evaluate the situation.
I don't think there's a single person on this job that won't tell you that at times they're afraid. They're afraid for their lives, they're afraid for the lives of the people that they work with. But you have to turn it into a positive. And through our training and knowing what will happen in a given situation, you can work within that fear. There's a big difference between fear and panic. And as long as you don't panic, you can get the job done. Our job is not always cut and dry. There are situations where you go into that are rewarding, that you want to go home and be able to tell your family about. When you can help somebody or make something right. There's other times when you don't want to talk about it. Situations that we're faced with that don't have an answer, and we can't provide the answer to a problem. Those are tough.
Well, when I took my mental exam to come on this place, the psychologist said that all firemen are pyromaniacs under control. I can remember when I was a kid, I loved matches, and I burned down several fields. So I assume he was correct, and I'm under control. I spend a lot of time putting them out instead of lighting them.
Sam Brown has been a firefighter for almost 30 years. This man has seen it all.
At first, it was just a job. But as I've gotten into it and been around it for a long period of time, I don't want to leave. When it comes time for me to quit, I don't want to leave. But this is a young man's job, not an old man's job. It's hard. It's physically hard. In the last 6 days, I've been at work 5 of them. That's 120 hours out of the last 144 hours I've been at work. And that's a long time to be away. And when that earthquake came, my little girl, my 14-year-old, cried on the phone and said, "Dad, can you come home this morning?" Or tomorrow morning, which was the one day I came off. And I had things to do that day, that I needed to go down to LA and I needed to do some other things. And I told her, yeah, I'll be home. Makes me cry. Told her I'll be home. And I went home. And tonight when I talked to my wife, she said, you know, I really appreciated the fact that you came home. So, how rough am I? You know, I'm not rough. But it's, my family's very close to me, and I love them. And that's why I do firemen. You know, pays their way through life. So, I like being a fireman, and I hope they like me being a fireman. I hope I never get hurt here to the point where I don't come home to them.